Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I have this really smoky, hazy, metallic purple eye. It's my go-to look when I want something dramatic and fun. As a pre-skin prep step, I like to use aloe vera gel as another step of hydration. Starting right ahead with the eyes, I like to prime my eyes with the P.Louise base in Rumour 01. With this base, I like to use a small size flat brush and I apply it with patting motions all over my lids. With a fluffy brush, I like to end the priming stage just by blending out the edges. Going in with the first shadow, this is actually a blush by NYX Cosmetics and it's PB08 Cinnamon. This is one of my favorite blushes, but I also like to use it in the crease sometimes as a warm transition color. After wiping off the remaining shadow on a tissue, I use the same exact brush with a very light hand to blend out the edges of that orange shadow. Going into my all-time favorite eyeshadow palette ever, the Urban Decay Electric palette. I'm very upset that they discontinued it. I'm dipping into the shade Jilted, which is a pinky purple kind of metallic duochrome shadow, and this is being placed right underneath the first cinnamon shade from NYX. Here, where there's little to no product on my brush, I'm just taking the edges and dragging it out to kind of elongate the eye a bit. And then with the shade Urban, which I think is probably the most iconic Urban Decay eyeshadow out there, I'm taking it on a flat brush, applying it all over my lid, and then blending out the edges where it meets Jilted with a fluffy brush. I wanted the look to be a bit more hazed out and smoky, so I went back in with Jilted and applied it right above where I previously put it before, just to make the look a bit more smoky. To clean up, I took a round cotton pad and Garnier's Micellar water, folded the cotton pad in half, saturated it, and ran it along the edge of my eye just to give it a nice sharp look. To start off with the face, I'm using the Too Faced Primed and Peachy Cooling Matte Skin Perfecting Primer. This is really good to smooth out any kind of skin texture and mattify any oily spots without drying out the skin completely. For foundation is one of my favorite foundations for everyday. It's the Maybelline Fit Me in the Glow version in 210. And I'm just first dotting it all over my face just to get a good thin layer on, and then I'm blending it out with the Morphe M439 brush. For concealer, I'm bringing out an oldie but a goodie. This is the MAC Pro Conceal Correct palette in the shade Medium. I'm using the colors NC30, NC35, and the mid yellow corrector. So basically all the shades on the left side. I took that little mixture under my eyes, along the bridge of my nose, the center of my forehead, my cupid's bow, and my chin. With a Japonesque beauty sponge, I'm using the very tip of it to blend out the edges of the concealer to make sure the face is nice and seamless. So this is a new one for me. For cream contour, I'm going to be using the Nudestix Nudies Tinted Blur Stick in the shade Medium 5. I'm so glad I found this in my collection because it's just so buttery. It's the perfect shade for my tone, and it blends out like a dream, as you'll see in the following clips. I applied the stick along my forehead, underneath my cheekbones, my jawline, the sides of my nose, and I blended it out with an E.L.F. small stippling brush. To set all the creams and liquids, I'm using the Hourglass Mineral Veil Translucent Powder. I love this powder for under the eyes because it's so finely milled and it has a yellow tone to it, so it doesn't look so ghostly in pictures. The remainder of whatever foundation was left on my hand, I used a small stippling brush to run it along the bottom of my cheekbones to clean up and make it a lot more bold and defined. With E.L.F.'s small blush brush, I like to use it to sweep away any excess powder under the eye, and whatever remains on the brush, I sweep it over the contour and right in the middle of my forehead to eliminate any excess shine. Going back in with NYX's Cinnamon Blush, I'm actually using it as blush this time. I like to apply it to the center of my cheeks and drag the rest up into my temples to give my face a really nice, lifted, tight look. Now with my busted, dusty, musty, and crusty, but well-loved Mary Luminizer from the Balm Cosmetics highlighter, I'm going to apply it to all the typical highlighting spots, so the top of my cheekbones, down the bridge of my nose, my cupid's bow, my chin, and the inner corner and the arch of the brow. Going back into the eyes, I'm taking Inglot's AMC Gel Eyeliner in the number 77 with a flat angled brush and doing my regular winged liner. With the same product and a smaller and thinner brush from Makeup Forever, I'm taking the Inglot liner and running it only a third of the way through my lower lash line, and then taking a flat brush and smudging it out. The mixture of Jilted and Savage on a pencil brush from Morphe, I'm smoking out the gel liner underneath my eyes to give it a more hazy effect altogether. To add more glitz and glamour, I took Urban Decay's Heavy Metal Glitter Liner in the shade Glam Rock and ran it along my inner corners. after struggling to get it open, I'm using the Hourglass Caution Ultra Black Mascara to give my lashes a little prep before the falsies. Using Urban Decay's 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in 0, basically black, I'm running it through my waterline and also using it to tightline. Wow, this tutorial is Urban Decay heavy. I'm sorry, I didn't notice. Here I'm using a customized lash which I created by stacking together Kiss's Poise lash and Ardell's Full Wispy. I just glued them on top of each other and this is now my go-to dramatic lash. Finally, for the lip. Here I used Tarte's Tarteist Lip Paint in the shade Bestie and topped it off with Fenty Beauty's Gloss Bomb in Universal for a very neutral nude color. Well, there you have it. I really hope you enjoyed the tutorial on this very metallic, smoky purple eye. I loved it. I hope you loved it. Just show me that love by clicking the like and subscribe button. Bye!